Hey guys, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day so far. In today's video, I will be talking about a new project, Photomaker. It's relatively new. It came out 5 days ago at the time of recording. Today is the 20th of January, and the project is really active. The last commit was 12 minutes ago. And the idea of this project is to take any character or any face and generate an image using that face. So as you can see in the demo here, you can take a picture of a person, then you can generate images using that base image as a template. Now, I would like to say a big thank you to Tencent.org for this project. And as it is, this project is a standalone project. We have Jupyter notebooks as well as a Gradio demo. On the right here, you can see that the languages is Jupyter Notebook and only 0.8 Python. The GitHub user Zo, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. They implemented a ComfyUI extension porting Photomaker to ComfyUI. Now, it's called as the unofficial implementation of Photomaker. It does have a few caveats when trying this project. You may end up with a couple of errors. In fact, at the time of recording this video, we have 24 issues, but the project is very active and it's being updated every day. And we can take a look at a couple of examples here where we have a face and we generate a pixel art character or Disney character using the same face. And we have a couple of examples. We have the photography type of image. Couple down, we have Disney characters, and the project itself, the ComfyUI implementation does provide a couple of styles. And as you can see, we can generate it using Lily style to Disney character, digital art, line art, and so on. I'm going to leave links to all the resources I will be using, so you can find all the links in the description below. The ComfyUI extension, like I mentioned, does give a few errors, and I will show you how you can fix those. However, do note that my system, I have a GTX 1650 with only 4 gigs of VRAM. I have 32 gigs of system RAM, and I am using Windows 11. If you're using a different operating system, the errors may be different. In that case, you can leave a comment in the description below, and I can take a look at the error to try to help you. But I cannot guarantee that I will be able to fix all the errors. Always come back to the project. If you're using the ComfyUI extension, go into the Issues tab and check if somebody else got the same issue. So now I'm going to show you how you can install the ComfyUI Photomaker from scratch. Navigate to the GitHub link. You can find the link in the description below. Now, as you can see, I am not signed into GitHub, so you do not require a GitHub account in order to proceed on. Click on the code drop-down, and then where it says HTTPS, click on the copy URL to clipboard. Next, open your ComfyUI installation, where you have your run NVIDIA _ GPU.bat file. Then go into ComfyUI folder, find the folder named Custom Node, go inside. At the top, click on the address bar here and then type in CMD. Press enter. This will open a terminal inside your ComfyUI custom node directory. Then check if you have Git installed by typing Git, pressing enter. If you see an output like this, it means you have Git installed. Most of you should have Git installed as you'll be using ComfyUI, but just in case it is your first time installing ComfyUI, the easiest way to install Git would be to type in winget space install space -e space -id space git.git. The G in Git is capital, and then press enter. This will install Git. Then close out of the terminal, go back into the address bar at the top here, and type in CMD once again, and then again do Git, and this time you should have Git installed. Now, back to the custom node folder inside the terminal, type in git clone, and then make sure that you have the URL copy in your clipboard, and paste that URL in your terminal. Then press enter, will tell you cloning into ComfyUI-Photomaker. And this should be relatively fast as it does not install the requirements just yet. It is just copying the folder from GitHub into your system. Next, you want to do cd and just type in ComfyUI-Photomaker. CD stands for change directory. And then we want to go into this folder here. Press enter. Now, if you're unable to change directory inside the terminal, you can close out of the terminal, go inside the ComfyUI Photomaker folder, and then at the top, the address bar, again, do cmd. This will open you in the correct directory. Now, in here, you want to type in 2 dots followed by a backslash, then again 2 dot, backslash, again 2 dots. So we have 3 pairs of 2 dots and 3 backslashes. Next, type in python_embedded, python-m, pip install-r, and then you want to do requirements.txt. So the first part is really important because we want to invoke the Python, which is inside the Python embedded folder. Then press enter. This will install all the required libraries for this project. You may get a couple of warnings like these. Do not worry about them. Just leave it. Let the installation complete. The installation is completed. We'll say successful here. Then you can close out of this terminal. Go back into your ComfyUI Windows Portable folder. Then start your ComfyUI either from the terminal or by double-clicking on the Run CPU or Run NVIDIA_GPU version. Check your terminal to make sure that the Photomaker was imported correctly. If you see around here that says import failed, something went wrong, so you need to go back and do a previous step. Make sure that you've invoked the correct Python when you were installing the requirements.txt. If you miss a couple of dots or backslashes, you may end up using your system-wide Python to install the requirements. The different dependencies were installed in the wrong directory. Otherwise, if you see import times successful, go into your ComfyUI, click on clear, OK, right-click anywhere in the blank canvas, click on add node, and you should have a category called Photomaker, and inside you should have the different nodes. Now, at this stage, it is best to test using one of the default workflows that was provided with the ComfyUI Photomaker custom node. Click on the load button. Now, in the download box, go into your ComfyUI Windows Portable folder, ComfyUI, look for custom nodes, look for the Photomaker custom node. In my case, I have only one folder because I am using a fresh installation of ComfyUI, just so that I do not confuse you with a lot of custom nodes. In your case, you may have custom nodes already installed. In that case, you want to make sure that you're going into the ComfyUI Photomaker folder, then look into the workflows folder, and then choose the first one that says from hub. This is from the HuggingFace website. Choose that JSON file, press on open. And if you're watching this from the future, this error may not happen. In my case, while I was recording it, the developer updated the GitHub repository in which they changed the name of this node to new_Photomaker_generator. When loading the file, it is not finding this old Photomaker_generator, so it's giving me this error. Now, if you tried it and it's working, it's probably because they updated the workflows fine. In my case, I'm going to show you how you can create the workflow from scratch. I'm going to right-click, click on Add Node, go into Photomaker, and then choose the one that says Base Model Loader from Hub. This will download a diffuser format of Realistic Vision XL. So it is important to note that this project will work only for SDXL format. As far as I'm aware, it is possible that if you're watching this 2 days or 3 days, we have an SD 1.5 version. but as of right now, it can only work for SDXL version. It will also require a diffuser format if you're using this node. We have another node that says base model loader locally, and this one takes in a checkpoint. Since I'm using a freshly installed ComfyUI, I do not have any checkpoint installed, so I'm going to use this base model loader from Hub. So it's going to download the model directly from HuggingFace and place it in the correct folder. And this node will output a pipe. This pipe needs to go into an adapter. So click on it, drag out. You can search for adapter. And again, I'm going to choose the one from Hub. But if you've downloaded the file, you can select the one that says locally. Now, in case you have a lot of custom node and you cannot search for it, you can right-click, add node, Photomaker, and then select the Photomaker adapter loader from Hub, the same one. This will automatically download the Photomaker model from the Tencent Art original project. Now, this outputs a model, and this model can go into a LoRa, or it can go directly into the Photomaker generation node. Now, for now, I'm going to go directly into the Photomaker generation node. So I'm going to right-click, add node, Photomaker, and then select the Photomaker generation. Then model goes into pipe. Next, we have a fill image, which we need to fill in. So we need to input an image. Right-click, add node, click on image, load image. Now, this image cannot go directly into this fill image. It needs to be processed. So we'll right-click again, add node, go into Photomaker, and select the reference image pre-processing node. Take the input image into the reference image, and then this image goes into the new Photomaker generation node. Now, you can choose a positive and negative from by doing your traditional clip text encode. But as you can see, this base model is outputting a pipe. So the creator also gave us a prop styler, which outputs a positive and negative from, and it doesn't require the clip like traditionally. So take the positive from, go into positive, negative into negative. And at this point, you want to make sure that you have all of these connected correctly. So take a minute, pause it, and make sure your connection is correct. Next, I'm going to go into pixel.com and look for some portrait. And you want to look for a portrait that the face is not blocked. For example, like this, it is blocked. You also don't want to see these effects on the face. You want to have a clear portrait of the face. So I found one where the face is clearly shown, and it's by Spring Tuan. So big thank you to you for providing this photograph. Click on the download button and save the file somewhere. In your load image, click on File to upload, and then open the file. Now, at this point, if your image is too large or is not cropped correctly, you can always take the image and do an image crop and make sure your character is centered properly. And then you can take this crop image into the reference image preprocessing. Now I'm going to try without the crop and the positive from. In here it says sci-fi close-up portrait of a man. I'm going to change this to a woman. This IMG is actually a trigger word, and it must always follow a class word. In this case, the word can be man, woman, and then following that, we need to have IMG. I'm going to leave everything as is. Then this image can drag it out into a save node or a preview node like you would usually do. Then I'm going to click on QProp. Looking at the terminal, we can see that it is loading the component and it will download the checkpoint, place it in the correct folder, and we'll just have to give it some time to complete the download. Some of you may encounter an error where it says kernel not found. If you did not get that error and your image generation was correct, do not follow the next step. For those who got this error, close out of that error, go into your ComfyUI installation, ComfyUI, custom node, the Photomaker folder. Inside, there will be a file named as Photomaker node.py. If you have Visual Studio Code, open it using Visual Studio Code. Press Ctrl F to get the Find window here. Then click on this little icon to expand it and change it into find and replace. At the top, in the find box, type in B, float 16. In the replace section, type in float 16 without the B. And then click on this little icon here that says replace all. Go into File, Save, or you can press Ctrl S to save. Close out of the CMD, the terminal, and then restart ComfyUI. Go back into your workflow and click on Q prompt once again. Now, if you do not have Visual Studio Code, you can open the file using Notepad that comes built in Windows. Right-click on the Photomaker node.py, click on Open With, choose another application, and then look for Notepad. Click on Always or Just Once. I suggest clicking on Just Once, just in case later on you download Visual Studio Code or any code editor. Now in here, you want to press Ctrl F to get the Find window. Then click on this drop down here to change it into Find and Replace. Again, do the same thing. Search for B float 16, and then in the replace section, put in float 16 and click on Replace All. Then go into File, Save. Close out and restart ComfyUI. Now at this stage, we can see that it worked. The first part finished and it is currently generating the image. Now for me, like I mentioned before, I'm not sure if I mentioned it correctly, but I have only 4 gigs of VRAM and I'm using a GTX 1650. So this process of generating using SDXL is going to take a long time for me. I'm going to pause the recording and we'll come back once the image generation is completed. Okay, I'm back and it's finally completed. I've done a couple of tests and I've collected the result and placed it here. Let's take a look at the first result. So this is my input image. I have sci-fi, close-up portrait, photo of the woman, IMG, important, wearing the sunglasses in Iron Man suit, face, slim body, high quality and film grain. And then I have the default negative prompt. And this is the result. I've done 2 generation just to make sure that I'm not getting a good seed. And it's pretty close to what we have here. One thing to note here is that the Photomaker, just like IP adapters, it's not a face replacement. It is not taking the face and replacing it in the output image. It's basically just identifying the features, learning about it, taking that information and injecting it into the model. Now the model have an understanding about the features of the face and so on. Basically like the characteristics of that input image, and then it is generating an image using that information. It's pretty much like IP adapters work. So this is the first batch I've done, and then I tried doing it with my face, and as you can see, it's not close. It does have a couple of the features. And a third one I wanted to see if it will be able to identify the stylized images instead of just real characters, and have a fantasy art of woman in magical forests. Well, you can be the judge of that yourself. I'm going to reduce the zoom level and you can see it here. So if I zoom out a little bit, this is the first one, second one, and third one here. Now the images are pretty good because it's using the base SDXL model. Of course, this one was a realistic vision, but it is SDXL, so all of the images are pretty good in terms of quality and in terms of the face being portrayed into the image. I think this one is the best, and this one, it did not get a lot of features. I was expecting maybe to have line arts, but maybe what I should have done is in the style name, I should have chosen line art, and then it will have done in the same style. Now, this is another difference between IP adapters and Photomaker. In IPAdapter, if you input an image which is line art, even without any prompt, it will output an output image, and most of the time in line art. So it does copy the style. In this case, in Photomaker, I don't see that it's copying the style, at least not with the 3 different results I have. Of course, we'll have to experiment some more Now for me, it's taking a long time just to generate one image, and 2 images take about 30 minutes for me. Yeah, so it's difficult to test and to experiment. But over the days, I will be testing and posting it on my Patreon free blog post. You can join it for free by clicking on the join for free button on the top, and you will get some posts. You will see the posts and the experimentation that I will be doing with this node. And while I was recording, I wanted to see if I could make the female character into a man. I noticed that the project got updated. So I decided to do a git pull and update my project, because when I would post this video, a lot of people would watch it maybe a day or 2 later. So they will be watching it in the future. And I thought the project would get updated. Why not just update it and see if it still works? And no, it did not work. Instead, I got a black image using the same image, the same prompt, same steps and all. In the terminal, it's telling me that there's a runtime warning, invalid value encountered in CAS, and then it's telling me where it is in the image processor inside the diffusers file. So I'm not going to look into this issue right now. That is going to be it for me. If you're watching this in the future, it's probably got resolved. If you're watching it right away and you encounter the same issue, just look into the GitHub repository for ComfyUI Photomaker. Go into the issues and you can look into the issues and see if somebody else encountered the same issue and whether they were able to fix it or not. Now, come the main question, will Photomaker replace IPAdapters? Let's say the Photomaker project gets stable and it's working for pretty much everyone. Even then, I don't think that Photomaker is going to replace IPAdapters. IPAdapter has its own use, and the fact that it can work with SD 1.5 models as well as SDXL is a plus. On top of that, we can see that IPAdapters can take the style of a particular input image and output a similar style. And we'll have to see where Photomaker goes from now on and which direction it gets updated and where the developer is going to take it. So hopefully people becomes aware of it. As of right now, the project has only 272 stars, and not a lot of people are talking about it. I have not seen any videos about Photomaker right now. Now, of course, there's also a time zone difference that we'll have to take. So for me, it's morning, but for some of you, it may be nighttime. It may also be January 19th for you. So 1 day behind, especially if you are in the Pacific time zone around Canada, you'll be around 12 hours behind me at the time of recording. So if you already released a video and you would like to have a shout out, let me know. I can put it in the description below, especially if you do show other type of errors and how to fix those. I would really like to see those. Again, tell me what your thoughts are on the project. It's a really interesting project, and the fact that Zozo was able to port it to ComfyUI is really great. Again, big thank you, big shout out to the project. By the way, in case you're having difficulty running Photomaker directly on your system, you can go to HuggingFace. And as of right now, there is a Photomaker Gradio application, which is being hosted on HuggingFace. It's running on the HuggingFace GPU, so it's really fast. You can upload an image, add your prompt, choose your style, and click on submit. And you can, of course, upload multiple images. The more images you upload, the better the character consistency will be in the output image. Now, of course, do not forget that we have the class word as well as the trigger word. The class can be man, woman, or girl, and the trigger word has to be img, image. So that is it. That is it for today. Hope you were able to get it running. In case not, let me know in the comments down below. Like I mentioned, I may not be able to solve all the issues, but I can try to guide you in the correct direction. And if we do get an update which fixes those errors, I will be able to tell you that, hey, we have an update. You can check it out and see if it works. Let me know what your thoughts are on the project, and let me know what you think will happen, whether this Photomaker is going to be another IPAdapter or it's going to replace IPAdapter, in your opinion, in your testing. And with that, thank you for watching until the very end. I will see you in the next video.